What's going on, y'all? I'm back. Yeah. So yeah, I'm here to deal with how to handle and deal with stress. Like me, I've been thinking lately like there needs to be like a de-stressing course. Yeah. Sorry, my hair is kind of all messed up. It's kind of in the way. I need to get it cut, trimmed soon. But anyway, but we need to. There needs to be like I feel like there needs to be like a course or a class or something on how to deal with like stress. Because we as normal regular human beings who get up in the morning and do our regular stuff. If you got a 9 to 5 to go to, you'll know that can be very stressful, like depending on the kind of job you work. But like or going to school or something or having to deal with people, whoever, people nagging, people bitch, and just stuff just stuff that makes you want to just makes you go crazy at the end of the fucking day. Or I feel like there needs to be like some way, I feel like since we gotta like do stuff and we everybody's lives is hectic, but there needs to be like a way to like fucking like deal with this, or like a session where you get to chill out, or something or of course, like how do you deal with that? I'm sure I got happy hour at the end of the day. I'm sure that can be fun and de-stressing for a lot of people who just decompress and just all your troubles they're just gone. But I guess not everybody drinks or whatnot. But let's see. But I don't know. So it seems like society builds us from birth, or when you're raised, or I guess not, or I guess since when you start in their like pre-K, they've raised into like a way things got to be dealt. You've got we have this conditioning or whatnot, like how you deal with stuff. But yeah, they expect society like expects all these things from you, but you just but they don't really factor in like what the amount that what can have on your head. Like the stress you gotta go through, and everything. Why sometimes people go crazy sometimes, and they just can't deal with stuff or whatnot. But of course that's on them. But I feel like there needs to be like a way. I guess they that's why they sell alcohol, or I guess why the pharmaceutical companies make a big killing. Which I'm gonna talk about that in another video. The pharmaceutical companies. I got I'll have to say about them. I'll maybe talk about that in another video. But I feel like people there's like a lot of things I guess I guess some people have like support groups or something but things that stress me out, like sometimes family first and foremost. But I won't I won't go there. But I got my own stuff I gotta deal with family. Sometimes people, I guess one thing, sometimes people are like people on my job, like people who nag you, and well, mainly sometimes you deal with people who are like giving you a hard time, being an attitude. Try to be professional, try to be as nice as you can, and try to maybe go out of your way to help somebody, and they still get on your case and give you an attitude. Like, how do you deal with that? Like, people, like, you try to help somebody, or you go above and beyond, and they still want to give you an attitude, like, say, and tell you how to do your job, how to do your freaking job. And, like, look, sometimes, I hold myself back, but, and over the years I've gotten better at this, but, you just, well, I just, I mean, you gotta really, like, keep a straight face and, okay, like, you know exactly, like, those who work, have a job, and or I guess work in customer service, like you know exactly what I'm talking about. Me, I work in customer service, so yeah, so and also sometimes people like who may ask. There's another thing, like no, I've had people ask me for things. Sometimes they may need some money, or maybe I might help them out a little bit. Maybe front them some cash and everything. They say they'll pay me back. I maybe think about it. If I know you, you're a friend of mine. Then I'll help you. But if I don't know you, well, not to somebody I don't fucking know. It's like yo, you like get. I don't know you. Get the fuck away from me. I like your problems. I got nothing to do with it. Don't bring me into it. You. Sorry, but good luck to you. But no. But sometimes even though like people like sometimes you give them some cash, and they kind of like I guess string you along. Or sometimes I've had this happen to me a couple times. But after a while you just gotta cut the people off if they they just you want, I know you want to be a good friend, and I guess be a good citizen, whatever, be a good friend to somebody. But and they want to like say, hey, be a friend or whatever. It's like sometimes people take it a little too far. They don't have any kind of boundaries at all. You need to people need to learn boundaries. I think that's another thing. In addition to how to de-stress, people need to learn like boundaries. There's like people like I guess need to draw lines, or need to put up boundaries, need to set up boundaries. But also, I think people need to learn where boundaries and lines are. Not to cross them. Some people don't know when you don't know when you're going too far. That's the thing. this thing that stresses me out is people who go too far and don't even freaking know it, and they just they just kind of all they think about is their own bullshit, and like it's that's one thing that like kind of really irritates the fuck out of me. Like it's just like I'm like I mean I here's the thing, I feel like the solution to stress find I guess like to me is like talk to somebody who you know who you trust who's qualified to help you. Sometimes even if sometimes I mean everybody's got friends even though sometimes my friends may not be able to help you. So they can't be there for you all the time. Some it's out of their hands. It's not really their expertise, and they just can't really help you because it's just sometimes things get a little too much sometimes for some people. It happens. Sometimes you get things a little too much sometimes. I mean, be a good friend, but hey, what hey, it's just there's only so much one person can do. In the end, I think in the end you got to be able to like help yourself. I mean, self-help I think is probably one of the best forms of help you could like get is help yourself. Help yourself first and foremost. That's just I feel like if you can help yourself. I mean, know what they say. God helps those who help themselves. That's what they say. Taking slightly religious term, but that's what they say. God helps those who help themselves. So, but I mean, help yourself and I guess find people who understand and know your situation, and who can help you. People who can help you, who are qualified to help you, and who can I guess who can deal with you as well. If your minds click, and everything, there's an understanding, a common ground. I feel like that's the foundation for having like a good lasting like relationship with who I guess any kind of relationship, whether it's just friends or romantic designs or whatever, or working relationship, like any type of relationship, not necessarily romantic. It could be amongst friends or maybe familiar family and relationships amongst family. I think that's really easy. Y'all gotta like be to get hold it down. Sometimes families can be irritating, and sometimes families can be like I guess not the best. No family's perfect. I mean, people aren't perfect. We live in an imperfect world. That's just the reality. But and we just gotta cope with things and learn how to de-stress. And just take a breather from time to time. So, but like yeah, but I'd say yeah. I guess that would be the de-stressing. That'd be the course in de-stressing. Or de-stressation or whatever. I'm kind of making up words here, but yeah, that's yeah. I'd say that's the solution. There's your course in learning into like learning how to deal with stress and de-stress. That's there you go. That's the answer. So yeah, but y'all let me know. Comment. Let me know what you think, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye.